Welcome back, and thanks for staying with us as we continue the coverage of the funeral ceremonies of Israeli Rabbi Chaim Kanievsky, which is now underway in Bnei Brak, just outside Tel Aviv, with hundreds of thousands of people in attendance. Such a large crowd is of concern for authorities with the Mount Meron disaster of last year, in which 45 people were crushed to death, still fresh in many people's minds. Now, to understand more about the preparations for this event, we have with us Rozenblat, who's the Chief Information Officer of the Magen David Adom Emergency Service, Israel's National Emergency Service in Israel. He's joining us from Kiryat Ono. Thank you for being with us. Good morning. So I want to ask you really, what does Magen David Adom, the National Emergency Service, have in place right now in order to make sure that everyone who needs treatment at this event, or if anyone will need treatment, will receive that treatment, considering how difficult it is to get into some of those places where there is such a large crowd?
Good morning from the National Operations Center of Magen David Adom in Kiryat Ono. I just said it's very big operations that Magen David Adom made from this morning. We have more than 100 different emergency teams, including the emergency motorcycles, ambulances, intensive care units, with employees and volunteers all over Bnei Brak, all over the city. This is a double challenge for the funeral audience, to make sure that everybody, or all the audience that came to the funeral, is safe, and to give the first treatment if it's needed. And the second advantage is for the routine, because there's still people in the city of Bnei Brak and in the other cities in the center of Israel who need the help for the routine, first-time illness and accidents as well. And it is a huge advantage for us because of the closures of the roads and all the audience on the roads. So this is the reason why Magen David Adom has more than 100 teams out of our stations in the city, ready for any situation.
I want to ask you, because obviously last year Israel had its worst civilian disaster in its history at Mount Meron, which was also an event attended by very large numbers of ultra-Orthodox crowds. It was 100,000 people then. We're talking about far greater numbers here at this event. Of course, the circumstances are different, the terrain is different, but what have you learned from that event that you may be implementing here to make sure that nothing like that ever occurs again?
There is, as you said, there is a big difference between those incidents, but there is a very similar things like even the terrain is different. This is in a very narrow street, and the same advantage that vehicles cannot move in the city. We have very good coordination with the police. We do a lot of preparation yesterday, during all the night, and even this morning with the police department, to see that we coordinate about all the different issues all over the day, because it's not only the funeral, it's the roads and what's going to be after the funeral in the afternoon and even in the night, when the audience came to the grave after the funeral done. We have a good coordination with all the different Hatzalah organizations. There is more than 20 Hatzalah organizations that work under Magen David Adom, and they working with us. They was part of the preparation, and we all hope that it's going to be quiet, and we don't need to react for mass casualty incidents.
All right, Rozenblat, Chief Information Officer of the Magen David Adom Emergency Service. Let's hope really that this event passes in a completely safe way. Thank you very much for coming on.